Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I'm K Cosmic.
Today, we are joined by a guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Sam, or WhipLash. I've never done a podcast. I'm so not used to this. I make, you wouldn't have guessed, zombies content. Can't
Really?
believe it. No,
Wow.
no, I'm joking.
I mean, we have to get you off the podcast right now. We didn't know that.
No zombies content allowed? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. How could we ever talk about zombies on a
Yeah,
zombies-themed
come on.
podcast? How could we ever do that?
What?
Come on.
But man, good to have you on the show, fellow Obey Undead member.
Yes, I am happy to be here. As I was saying before, I missed out on the opportunity to wear my jersey, and now I'm really regretting that because that would have been so cool.
Dude, I had to for this episode. I was
should've.
like,
It's in my
fuck
closet.
yeah. I was like, hell yeah, WhipLash, got the teammate coming on. We gotta
Dude, I
do
know.
it.
100%.
I should have. What am I doing?
But here's the thing. I'm actually quite happy that WhipLash you didn't wear it, because then it'd be two Obey members and
And then you've been left out.
one Cosmic. And I would have been like, what's going on?
Hey, we
Right.
gotta-
At least we have one person representing. That's
Exactly.
Dude,
That's all
we gotta ship over Cosmic an Obey jersey or something.
I agree. We gotta get them. Y'all should make jerseys for the podcast.
Oh,
what?
it's been a thought.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That's all I'm
did
gonna
I just
say.
leak something? Oh no. Oh no. Did I
Ah.
just leak something?
No, you didn't leak anything, but we have thought of different merch ideas, but
I got
hey, but again, welcome on the show, man. I mean, the zombies community is in a very interesting state right now, as we all know, but I think one of the most important things that well, by the time you guys are going to be seeing this, has already happened is Black Ops 2 Revival. And I think this is a good thing for the community because obviously a lot of people have fond memories of Black Ops 2 and some of the greatest maps of all time, like Origins, Mob of the Dead, Buried, they're on Black Ops
Transit.
2. And we don't talk about that. So basically, basically, I want to get your guys' thoughts on Black Ops 2 Revival because I think it's a fun thing for the community. So go ahead and shoot off. What do you guys have to say about it?
Go first.
Yeah, sure thing. I think it's good, obviously. I think Black Ops 2 is top 5 CODs. Multiplayer, definitely. I know we're going to focus on zombies and that, but I'm a big fan of BO2 multiplayer, except for the connection. I think the lag is awful. Hit detection is bad in the game. But everything else but the multiplayer is probably like up there in top 3. Zombies, obviously, has to be either number 1, number 2 spot. And I went on earlier, and I live in the UK, so time's a little bit, forward, back. I don't know. It's
You're
a little
ahead
bit
of us.
later on the day. Ahead, yeah, right. Time zones are awful. Whoever made them, shame on you.
Wow.
But I went on, right, and there was decent lobbies. Like I got in a game of Buried. I was like, a game of
Love
a
that.
DLC map of zombies in Black Ops 2 in the year 2022. Unbelievable.
That
So
is kind of crazy.
yeah, all I want is maybe to have this have a little lasting impact where we can play DLC maps again online. Obviously, it'll go down as the week goes on, sort of thing. But it's nostalgic and heartwarming to see that lobbies are full again for a little bit, and even if it's only for like a day or two, that makes me happy.
For sure, man.
I think you're right. First off, I think, in my opinion, I think Black Ops 2 is probably my favorite Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Like ever. Like multiplayer, zombies, I love it. I love it all. Okay. Now I'm pretty shitty at it. I'm not very great. Can I curse on here? Is that
Oh,
cool?
go
yes,
for
you
it.
can.
Okay. I'm pretty bad at it. Okay. But I still have fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
But I think it's huge. I think it's today, which is crazy, but like, I'm gonna be streaming it. But I think it's huge because it's like the people that didn't, or if they can, right? The people that didn't get to enjoy it when it was out, like when they were too young or whatever, can now go back and enjoy it. Maybe have some memories that we have. And the people that did play it can go back and get some nostalgic feels for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And I think the fact that people are playing like you said, a DLC map in 2022 on Black Ops 2.
that's huge.
That's ludicrous. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah,
But that's so awesome though. And like you said, hopefully it'll have like a steamroll effect where we'll go over to like the rest of the week, and then maybe next week, and then maybe you see more YouTubers making videos on it. It gets bigger and
Yeah.
bigger and bigger. I mean, I remember a couple years ago when Black Ops 2 had like maybe not a couple years ago. This was like whenever they put it on the Xbox One,
yeah, I remember that. That was huge.
and it was huge, right? And
yeah.
so
Yeah.
hopefully you can kind of have that kind of same resurgence as it did then, because I think this can be huge. I don't know.
Absolutely. I think this honestly does say a lot about the community, though, because, you would think we'd be playing the more recent Call of Duty game in Vanguard, right?
Imagine that.
But nobody wants to play Vanguard
Yeah,
right
come on.
now.
I mean, why wouldn't anyone want to play that zombies experience? Come on.
Because
Yeah,
think about it this way
Listen,
too.
listen, it has
It's
a little bit
like,
of round base.
I mean, all right, but is it really?
No, not at all.
no,
Like
no.
because the thing is too, they also nerfed the Ring of Fire strategy now on
I've seen
Vanguard.
that.
So now like the fun thing to get to high rounds has been nerfed, and it's like, all right, well now what do we do?
It's like they're trying to make it worse.
It's like,
I don't know.
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
know.
Here's the thing, right? Maybe instead of fixing all these side things that don't really need fixing, you fix your game first, and then you can worry about that.
Nah.
Like Ring of Fire being overpowered, that's like that's fine. Who cares, right? Like, I mean, I don't care because I don't really play Vanguard Zombies. I haven't touched the game mode in like a month, right?
Dude, I haven't touched it since I did that Ring of
I
Fire
feel like
strategy.
they should. I think collectively they should be putting all their energy and mind power into trying to put together a pause button first, and then we can worry about Ring of Fire. I don't know.
Have they added that yet? I thought they.
Oh,
did
no.
add that.
No.
See, here's the problem with it. They said it was coming in season 1, and then they said it was coming in the middle of season 1, and now it's being postponed to season 2.
How do you postpone a pause button? Can someone explain to me?
Okay, so we covered this on a previous episode as well. They were talking
Okay.
about how the I guess IW8 is the engine that they're working on with Vanguard. Apparently, because there's dedicated servers for every kind of match, right? Solo match, private match, whatever. It's difficult for them to add a server pause with the particular engine.
Okay.
So
'Cause,
that's
they,
that
would
was
have to
the
pause the server as well, right?
yeah.
Or
So
the
that was kind of
dedication.
their explanation as to why it's difficult for them to do it. But my whole thing is, why did they even make dedicated servers for solo play? And in the first place, when it's like, you know, we had private and solo games before that had pause and everything was just fine there. Like, I don't understand the choice for them to do that.
Yeah, I don't really understand either. Can I be honest with you guys? I
absolutely.
literally have not played Vanguard Zombies.
Wow.
I don't
I
blame
have
you.
not played
Honestly,
it.
I haven't played it. Even when that update came out for it, the Shinonuma round base, I didn't touch it.
I've literally. The thing was, so I was in where was I? I was in a cabin when it came out, I think, or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know what it was. Whatever. Came out, and I wasn't home to play it, but I saw people playing it, and when I see people like Noah J, who has been sponsored by the game before, shitting on the game that just came out, that's how you know it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
when he's sitting there going, guys, I don't know if you should buy it for zombies. Like, that's how you know it's.
That was
yeah.
the thing. Even on day one, people were like, a lot of the bigger content creators were, you know, guys, if you're buying this game for zombies, hold off for a little bit.
Yeah.
because
literally
it's just
don't.
not there. I mean, because when you look at it, right, and we like to rant about Vanguard here because, well, first of all, it's funny. Second of all, we're giving our
It's
valid
funny, and we're a
opinions.
zombies podcast at the same time,
Yeah.
so you know.
Yeah, so
But
but
it is-
like,
Oh.
no, it's fine. I was just gonna say, I think in the long run, Vanguard Zombies is gonna be a big lesson to them on what they can and can't push out.
100%.
I think
yes.
There'll never be
Yeah.
another Vanguard Zombies experience again, and with Microsoft, you know, taking over eventually, I'm seeing good things from here. So
As frustrating as it is, I think you're right. I think it is a big learning process for them, and I think it's a frustrating step we needed to take in order to hopefully get to where it once was, or back to around the roots where it once was. I think a lot of it is, and I talked about this before, is I wish they would go and touch back on some of their roots, and I know they're kind of, I don't know. I wish they would go back and touch on some of their roots from the previous games. I think everybody kind of wishes that, but like,
For sure.
I get that they need to like change. They need to like try to find something new and innovative, which was what they try to do. The Outbreak. Did you guys like Outbreak?
I did
thought it was
like
alright.
Outbreak.
it's okay.
Okay. I wasn't like a crazy. I mean, I played it a lot when it first came out. Like I played like a lot.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I just it kind of died off for me, and I never really found it interesting after that.
I found that as well, though.
Interesting. I think I had kind of the opposite experience where because
Really?
they added more things to Outbreak, more regions, more side things to do, more main objectives, you know, more areas to explore, more intel. I was kind of like, oh, okay, I can explore more, I can do more things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know I kind of had the opposite effect because Outbreak from when it first came out to where it is now is like a completely different game mode where it was just kind of the same loop over and over again with the same 3 objectives. Oh, where have we heard this before, Duran Fong?
Right.
But now it's, so many different regions, so many different side objectives in addition to the main objectives that you also do. And I mean, you can shoot down a helicopter in Zombies like you're in an action movie or something. I think that's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. I wish I gave it more time now than I did before. Because I remember right when it came out, like I was grinding for like round 100. So I was like seriously trying to go for the world record. And I was streaming for like 10 hours a day. And that's something I don't do. If you know me at all, I don't do that kind of stuff. Like I don't go for world records. I'm not like a competitive kind of guy. But I really wanted this one. I crashed twice in round 80, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
So, you're good.
I was like, nah, I'm done with it. I'm done.
Don't blame me on that one.
Yeah. So I think that might have been what killed it for me, but I found it kind of enjoyable though, like just sitting there and grinding it, and like it's a very streamable game as well. I think Outbreak is. You can kind of pick it up anywhere.
100%.
I like it for that reason.
100%, man. Some of the most fun streams that I had back before Vanguard came out, trying to do a little bit more Cold War stuff, was trying to find the intel live on stream with everyone in the chat and talking to everyone in the chat like, all right, guys, let's go find this over here. And like, I agree with you 100% there. Where Outbreak is a very streamable game mode, and I feel like Zombies as a whole is just a very streamable game.
Yeah.
Because you have high rounds, you have different challenges and things like that. Some of my favorite streams are going for world record games or doing certain challenges or something where people can watch that kind of long form content and be like, oh, what's going to happen next, and things like that. I think if you were to make it into kind of if you were to take the entire VOD from Twitch and just upload it straight to YouTube, it wouldn't have the same effect. So I think it's a very, very streamable experience for Outbreak, for round 100 attempts, for, things like that is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I think one of the big problems for Vanguard with me was that, like, I enjoy a game, and this is kind of a weird way to, like, kind of test if I will enjoy a game. If I can, like, look at it and the first thing I see is, like, content, and, like, what kind of content I can make on this. And I think that's where that kind of came in. It's like, well, yeah, Outbreak was very streamable, but I couldn't really make any content on it because, like you said, if you were to re-up a lot of Twitch VOD, like, it's not gonna be as enjoyable as watching it live.
Yeah.
But I look at Vanguard, I'm like, what content could I possibly make on there? Like, seriously, like, I wonder that. I think that's why Black Ops 3 is still, and I've said this forever, I think that's why Black Ops 3 is still, like, one of the main, like, games people still play for zombies, is because
100%.
You have custom zombies, you have mods for the game, you can literally do whatever you want to the game, basically, practically. And you can make content, like new content, fresh content still in 2022 on that game. So
yep.
I think that's one of the reasons why it did so good.
That's very
and
true.
It's still doing so good. And even when you compare it to like everything that kind of comes after it, it's still like, in most aspects, it's a bit more complete, better game. Compared to Black Ops 4, I would say I think the maps in Black Ops 4, some of them really give Black Ops 3 maps a run for the money, right? But it's more the other parts of the game I'm not like the hugest fan of. As time's gone on, I think Black Ops 4 is just okay. It's not awful,
right?
Not amazing. I can appreciate it for what it is, but Black Ops 3 will still always kind of be, the better game.
Yeah.
And then you compare it to Infinite Warfare Zombies, where that's fine, but it's still, not as good as Black Ops 3. World War 2 Zombies, same story. And
Infinite
all the way
Warfare Zombies is so much fun though. I've been on Infinite Warfare Zombies kick recently. Like, I've gone back and I'm starting to play all the maps I haven't played yet. So the only 2 maps I played prior to making videos about it was I only played Spaceland and Radioactive Thing. And I just recently went back to play Raven the Redwoods and Shaolin Shuffle. And I don't know, maybe by the time this podcast episode releases, I'll have my Beast from Beyond video out, which if you guys watch those videos, awesome, thanks. But it's one of those things where I'm really enjoying this different kind of style of zombies where it feels so familiar, but it's so different at the same time. And it's got its own depth. It's got its own depth to it, too, that I really appreciate. Like, the weapon variants in Infinite Warfare Zombies are really fun. The maps are pretty fun as well. I don't know. I'm just having a really fun time with Infinite Warfare right now.
So, I wonder all the time if I think you know what's funny about like Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare and those games, like the jetpack games, futuristic games, whatever.
Yeah.
I almost made a whole entire video on this, but I didn't because when I got lazy and two, it just would have been way too long. But I'll try to summarize it. Basically, my talking point was that I think I think Activision knew their games were going to get really stale very soon, right after Ghost hit. I think they realized this a long time before we did. And I think now that they've gone back, people are now getting upset with the games because it's the same thing over and over again. And I think that's why they made Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare.
Makes
I
sense.
guess you could even I guess you could even throw Black Ops 3 in that category, I guess too. That was more futuristic, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I think they realized that a lot sooner than we would. I don't know. I think that was an interesting topic.
That's a good
I
point.
can definitely see that. It makes a lot of sense, Phil, because, well, with Black Ops 2, you could see them kind of like dipping their toe into like a semi-feature setting, right? And then with Ghost, which is supposed to be like, Infinity Ward, a brand new story, the same developers, well, different developers, but they don't want you knowing that the team working that made Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 making this brand new game, and it flops, right? And the thing is when you look at Ghost, they try and improve on so much. They try and make the maps bigger to make it more of like a Battlefield style game. They changed the perk system completely, and I quite like the create class system in Ghost, and I like Ghost for what it is, right?
I like Ghost, yeah.
I think the multiplayer is actually quite fun. I think there's a lot of bad maps, but there's like 4 or 5 really good maps, right? The guns are fun, and I think the game just as a whole is decent, right? But even after that, I think they're like, right, well, this game's flopped. We need to do something different because people are just getting bored now. They can probably tell like the numbers and like analytics and that as well.
Yeah, and like there's a certain point where it's like you take away like all the new perks and like the new perk system, whatever. I think they realize that it's like, oh my god, we did just copy and paste this from the last game we made.
It gets to that point where it is that though. Like when you look at World War II and then Vanguard, right? They have their differences. But when it comes to the exact same formula, right, it is the exact same. And I think that's what Microsoft, kind of like diving into the Microsoft part of conversation, I think that's where they're going to take over. And after, the next Treyarch game, that's them going to hold off for a while until they do something else. There's been a few leaks. Obviously, everything with a pinch of salt. Giant a comedic spoonful of salt for this one. But they're planning like Warzone 2. It seems like they're wanting to do like not a yearly cycle anymore, maybe like a 2-year, 3-year cycle.
That would be ideal.
I think it needs it, honestly, right? Because it gives the game enough time to grow. And my thing with COD is halfway through the life cycle, I don't care about it anymore because it's only like half a year left of that. I'm not going to grind it. I'm not going to go for like level 1000. I don't care.
Right.
So I think
I'm the same exact way actually.
Yeah, I'm looking long term, right? I'm looking long term. Like, is it worth me grinding this or is it not? Because I can tell right now, Vanguard for me, I'm not going to grind it. I'm probably never going to play zombies again, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I'm just not going to.
Yeah. I think the thing is with when you're in the position that Microsoft is in, and you need to continually grip people, and you got to continually get people to, want to come back to play Call of Duties. Yeah, the yearly cycle thing is going to have to be ditched because, I mean, you look at other games like Fortnite. They just constantly update their game and they don't release Fortnite 37, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's where Warzone 2 is going to be different from Warzone we currently have. Now, granted, I know that technically Warzone by itself is being updated, new maps, new weapons, but it's like the new maps and new weapons from the other games is what I'm saying. Right. I think if Warzone 2 wants to stand alone and be its own entity, I think there also need to be Warzone-specific weapons, too. There needs to be Warzone-specific Warzone-specific perks, which we've already seen kind of glimpses of that, like with Tempered as a Warzone-specific perk and things like that. So I think where Warzone 2 can kind of stand out is, yeah, okay, cool, have a weapon from Modern Warfare 2, have a weapon from Black Ops 5, and, kind of make it that melting pot of the culmination of the current Call of Duty games going on, but also it needs its own arsenal so that it really kind of stands out from the rest, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. yeah, the exclusivity of, okay, if I want to use this weapon, that looks pretty cool. I want to play Warzone too.
Right.
It's almost like the same thing with if they were to make a standalone zombies game that they would continually update. We talked about this with Modern Warzone last week. It's one of those things where, they can just continuously update that game, and then there's zombie specific guns, there's zombie specific abilities and things like that. Obviously, like gobble gums and stuff would be zombie specific, but have something like that to give everything its own kind of personality. Not to say that things don't have their own personality right now. I just think you could add this next level kind of thing to it to make it kind of have its own personality in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
I think. You got okay. So if they were to like add, I have two questions here. If they were to add a standalone zombies game, okay.
Yeah.
Make it like a standalone zombies game, whatever. What engine do you think would suit it best? And do you think people would? I guess do you think it would have as big of a zombies fan base as it would if it was on a actual Call of Duty game?
That's a good question. I think as far as like the engine conversation goes, I think whatever the engine they used for either Cold War or BO3, I think would be ideal for them to do,
Right.
because I personally like the fluidity of Cold War more than I do Modern Warfare and Vanguard. That's just my personal playing style. And then, of course, Black Ops 3, I think everybody can agree that that's one of the better feeling zombies games out there. So I think if they were to choose between those two, I would be happy. As far as a fan base that would continually come back to play, I think you could make the argument both ways, right? I think you could say, some people who are like super casual might be kind of confused that the new Call of Duty came out without zombies included, so they'll be kind of confused and like, where did zombies go? And then you have like the other part of the community that's like, oh yeah, standalone zombies, I'm gonna play the shit out of this. And
do they make it free is the question.
I think they could make the base game free, but if they're going to add like an expansion, like, guys, get the Black Ops 2 expansion where you get to play Mob of the Dead and Buried remastered, and
can we just wait a second and talk about how cool that would actually be?
That would be amazing.
It'd be so like a genuine, not Blood of the Dead. No. Mob of the Dead, completely remade.
Yep.
Obviously with all the same things, same characters.
Yep.
All that stuff. I would absolutely love that. Imagine it. Oh, I would absolutely love it.
I would freak out. Oh my god, that'd be so crazy.
I think it'd be one of the best things that could happen for the community. My sort of input for like the engine is like, I don't mind the Modern Warfare engine, right? But I don't know if I feel like if they were to say, oh yeah, we're using the Black Ops 3 engine to make this standalone zombies game, that would bring up a lot of people be like, fuck, really? Like, you're doing this? We're going back to that engine that everyone really likes, that works, that people don't complain about.
I think what people like about the Black Ops 3 engine is like the fact that it's so like almost
snappy.
Arcade-ish. It's snappy. It's like almost like arcade-ish. It's not too real, but it's also not too like, far-fetched, right? I mean, this jump sliding and like all that kind of stuff, like G sliding or whatever. It's like it's cool. It is cool. It's fun to do, and it's like fun to spam when you're playing. I think,
I think also what it'd do is it would benefit COD in general as well, because you'd have, for example, I again don't know what Microsoft are going to do with the game, right? But Modern Warfare 16, when next game, whatever kind of comes out, right? Super realistic shooter, first-person shooter, has that like tactical, competitive playstyle, right? And if you're bored of that, like, oh, I wish there's something else I could play that didn't feel exactly like this. You'd have zombies, which is more the Black Ops 3 sort of feel. Now, I don't think the BO3 engine would be. I think it needs to be an updated version.
Yes,
an updated version of the BO3 engine.
Okay.
I don't know if they could make something out of Cold War's engine. Sure. I think personally, what they would do is they would use the most current up-to-date engine. I think that's what they would do, if I'm being completely honest. But
that's the most
ideally,
logical thing that they would do, for sure.
For a zombies fan, we'd like to see something kind of like in between, like Cold War and Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. Would you guys like Mantling to come back? Like,
why not? I thought it gave Cold War some character. I thought it gave Cold War something different that stands from.
You don't want it back.
I don't want it back. I'm gonna be honest. Look, I think I don't mean to cut you off, Jason. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
I think it kind of makes it a little too, and I hate to say it, people are gonna get pissed, a little too easy. I think it literally just makes it too easy. Like whenever like imagine you're playing Black Ops 2 and you can't jump over the railings in Die Machine, right?
That is true.
That makes it immediately so much harder to play in that room. Whereas if I'm
Intense.
playing Cold War, you can literally jump over the entire like
I mean, I definitely get what you're saying. I definitely
You're
get
not
what
really
you're
trapped
saying.
in a corner, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think honestly that's kind of like the appeal to zombies, that risk factor, you know.
Mhm.
And that's like one of the big arguments for Cold War, and the fact that you spawn in with so much health and jug and all that. I think the most intense part about a zombies game is when you spawn in. You know, when you're getting set up, that is where the most errors can happen, right?
True.
And let's say you're on round 100, right? On an old zombies game, you go down. You're like, shit, I have nothing. I have 2 hits of health and I'm gone, right? Some of the most intense, you know, you have to play like a god or you're going to die, right? With Cold War, it's a lot easier because obviously you have a little bit more health. You can have your armor. You can have your specialist. You can have all that stuff, right? And I think some of the appeal to old like Black Ops 2 style, a little bit Black Ops 3 style, because that has like the free hits, is that sort of risk factor where there isn't so many ways out. Even with Black Ops 3, you can still kind of get bamboozled a little. I'll use that word.
Yeah.
In the case like with Black Ops 4 is when we really seen like out of these situations, right? Specialist weapons, they weren't bad in Black Ops 4, but it's more the fact that as soon as you pulled them out, you're instantly free. There's no issue. There's no risk because you could go in that corner, zombies could come, pull out your specialist, and then they're all gone, right? With Black
but then
Ops
that
3,
also assumes that you have your specialist charge in the first place.
But most players would do though, if you get what I mean. It's like
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I completely understand the no mantling argument. I would make the game more intense. I think even on that note, is why not double down and make the game harder in the sense that you spawn in with 2 hits and that's it. You go down after 2 hits
I
or
think
3
at
hits.
this point, I don't think they're really like, if they were to go that direction and make it maybe a little more like the risk factor higher, they're not really losing much, right? Because they're already at rock bottom. I feel like it's already at rock bottom for zombies. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I doubt it.
I don't think that. I really don't think that's much of a hot take, considering how the
Yeah.
community just wrote off Vanguard Zombies on the first day, basically.
But,
I mean,
but it's like, was it for a good reason though? Like, was it?
Oh, absolutely for a good reason. The game's not finished.
Yeah.
The game's just straight up not finished. I mean, it's just not there. I mean, we don't have an Easter egg. We don't have an Easter egg. We don't have a wonder weapon. We don't have a pause button. So like the game's not finished at all. Every other map, even Nocturne and Toten, had a wonder weapon back in World at War. So the game's like not even finished. And the thing is, you know, I really hope that they are able to get it together and add things like this in Season 2. I'm waiting for the Season 2 roadmap, which by the time this podcast comes out, it probably already came out because we're recording this podcast a little bit before.
Season 2.
Well, the roadmap. You know how they release like roadmaps of the content things where it's like, this is coming out and this is coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like
that. But I can imagine that having very little. I mean, it's been kind of confirmed / leaked, hasn't it, that they're kind of doing a new like area, a new starting hub you can choose from with different locations.
Well, that's what they said in their blog post. It's
in their blog post.
The new map is going to be, how do I explain this? It's basically like Duran Fong, but it's going to take place in the desert. And it's going to be a base hub in the desert where there's going to be specific locations for that desert hub. So like Shinonuma, Hotel Royale, those were Duran Fong teleport locations. Next, in the desert location, we're going to have like, I don't know, because Oasis, let's say, that's a multiplayer map in Vanguard. Maybe Oasis is a teleport location. And then like Gavutu or something, that like those are those specific teleport locations for that region.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I can't wait to stream Black Ops 3 when that comes out.
You can't wait to stream.
I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna stream Black Ops 3. I'm not gonna play the.
Dude, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a chance. I gotta give everything a fair shake.
As much as I think okay. My thought process is and this is I have like weird conspiracy theories going on in my head. I legitimately think they've already given up on the game, like on zombies specifically.
I think you have reason to say that for sure.
I just can't see how, because they said there's gonna be an Easter egg by Season 1, right? Wasn't it?
Yep.
They even confirmed like some sort of Easter egg by Season 1.
We got half of one.
And it's like,
Yeah.
why even add half in? Like, I don't see the point in
Right.
that. I know it's a hint towards, ooh, what's the next thing that's gonna happen? Ooh, it's getting
Well,
spicy now, and it's like, who
It's
cares?
that,
Like,
and they want, and they wanted to tease the new Dark Ether entity in the game because they're adding, I guess, healing aura to the game next because the portal's green. So, like, I don't know, man. Like,
You know what pisses me off most about the game?
Huh.
I saw the trailer for it, okay?
mhm.
And I sat there no, I heard the song for it first. The one the Billie
Oh,
Eilish
yeah.
remix.
oh yeah,
That shit was so badass.
it
That
worked
shit
really well,
was
didn't
so
it?
good.
True.
And then I saw the trailer. I was like, "Oh my god, this story looks like it's gonna slap." I thought the colors were nice. I
They
thought
are.
the whole story kind of they were trying to put on a little plot was cool. I
Mhm.
thought the the fill upgrade like specialist whatever people talking whatever.
They look so cool. They kind of
was
give the
such a
game more
good idea.
personality. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then it just didn't. It just
I,
didn't.
I mean, I do
Then
have to
it's
say though, the music is probably the best part of Vanguard. For the most part, the music in the game, just no matter where you are, multiplayer, zombies, it's really good. But
Yeah.
you know, I think with the Dark Ether entities and all that, I think a lot of people, I don't know, it feels like I think a lot of people like them. I don't really particularly know. I can't really say that with confidence, but I like them. I like when they talk to you and they have like lines, things like that. I think where people didn't like things was when Von List only had like 2 lines, and then they had to add more lines in the game for him.
Yeah, because he only had two phrases. I think the specialist, I can't remember what they're called. The
Artifacts.
What are the artifacts? I don't even know the names of them. Right? I think they're probably the best. That's like the you do your little thing.
That's what
and
you're
then your
talking.
little-
Okay.
Yeah, that's when you do your little thing, right?
Nice.
Ether
And
Shroud.
I think Ether Shroud, right? I think those are the best part of the game because it kind of fixes one of Cold War's biggest problems, and that's the lack of personality.
Right.
Where even though you don't have a character, right? You do have a character, but he's just like a normal, like, who cares, right? There's some guy killing zombies. Your artifact kind of is your character in a way where it has their own personality and their own quotes. And I really like that about it. I think, like, that's a right step in the direction.
I wish they would carry that idea over if they don't add, like, a crew back, right? I wish they would actually carry that idea over. 'Cause that's such a good idea. Like, whoever
alternative way,
thought of that deserves a raise. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Honestly,
I mean,
like,
especially,
it makes sense. Like, it's such a good in the middle ground where we can still play as relative characters in a way, even though we're not, we can use our Warzone skins, whatever, right? I mean, and with the trailer and that, like you were saying, it looks so good. And I think Modern Warzone, we were talking about this last week or whenever this episode comes out, it'll be the week before, is that the trailer, again, looked really good. The marketing for the they knew exactly what they were doing when they released that trailer.
Sure
we're going to make it look cool. We're going to get a cool song. We're going to get a bunch of cool shots and show off all the cool features and that. And then the game comes out and all that's there, but all that's there. And
right. When you see the trailer, you're hoping you see the bare minimum what's actually going to be there. But when you saw the trailer, you actually saw everything that was in the game.
Yeah.
And then, not to mention, in the trailer, it was also kind of let down because you immediately saw multiplayer maps. And I'm like, why?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that was them teasing Onslaught. I thought that was them saying Onslaught is coming back. I was like, oh yeah, cool. I can dig that. Like, all right. It's not Onslaught. It's not Onslaught. It's Duran Fong. But I think the thing with the Dark Ether artifacts too, kind of backtracking a little bit with the personality and things like that, with the half of the Easter egg that we have right now in the game, I can't believe I have to say that, but with the half of the Easter egg that we have in the game, when you're doing the steps, the entities bicker and they like talk to each other and they're like, they're going back and forth and throwing shade at each other. And then, you kind of you learn their personalities a little bit more. And then you have Professor Kraft, who's like stuck behind the door and he's like, all right, we got to stop this crazy Nazi dude. And then things like that. And then you got the portal that opens and they're like, oh, a new friend from the Dark Ether is going to help us. And then that's what's going to lead us into the Easter egg for Duran Fong. So it's that's cool. Like that is cool. I will give them props for that. I just hope not too many people have checked out already for them not to give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just, because the story is going to be the thing that carries this game. I think the gameplay is like whatever, like all right, you like it, you don't like it, people have already made up their mind. But the story is what's going to carry this game as the prequel to Vanguard Zombies, to learn the lore of the Dark Ether, to learn why the entities exist, to learn things like that. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most in Vanguard. Not particularly the gameplay, but the story.
I just remembered something. I don't know why it's just popped in my head. At the end of Forsaken,
Mhm.
right? You see, okay, what? Can someone help jog my memory what we saw at the end of the cutscene? Because
Okay,
it's,
so
Okay, so last gen
got this.
Richtofen and old Richtofen came out of the portal and started
oh
kissing
my
each other.
god.
oh
And
yeah,
then it
yeah.
ended there. Then it ended there, and now we're just waiting for Cold War 2.
So when
All
we saw
right.
Richtofen, right?
Yeah,
And
Richtofen's the director of
yeah, we saw
Requiem.
Richtofen.
Richtofen, and then we saw, was it Dr. Peck?
Dr.
Or was it
Peck.
something else? Eye
Peck.
patch.
It was
Dr. Peck.
Yeah, yeah,
He goes
that
to
was him in the
Japan,
middle.
and he wants to
Right.
rent a boat so he can go to the middle of the ocean so he can
Right.
so say hi to some old friends or something
Oh,
like
right.
that.
So I saw some theories. Okay, I'm not going. This is way back when. I'm not
Okay.
going back down that rabbit hole. Basically, do you think we're gonna see that story ever end? Because like,
Yes.
is that when though?
So I think what's going to happen here is they want to establish Vanguard Zombies as the prequel to Cold War, and then the next Treyarch game is the sequel to Cold War.
Okay.
I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Where because they left such a loose end so wide open because they're basically putting Dr. Peck in the situation of, well, he survived the gas explosion in Forsaken. Kravchenko's presumably dead, right? And then you have it where the exact area he pointed to in the Pacific Ocean is the exact area where the missiles in Operacja Inversia were launched. So
Run that back.
people are saying,
that
okay,
word.
first outbreak Easter egg. Remember the first
Okay,
outbreak Easter egg where they're
okay.
like, all right, we got to put all the missiles somewhere, right?
Okay,
and then
that makes
Sam's
sense,
like,
yeah.
kill the fish, put them in the ocean.
Right, yeah,
And then so Peck basically points to the exact spot on the map where that happened. So the idea is that Dr. Peck is going to go to the remnants of those missiles and he's going to like do something with that for some dark ether or whatever, even though the Forsaken's locked away and the dark ether technically can't be accessed anymore because of the Forsaken's put away or whatever.
But there's a loophole.
There's a
and
yeah,
Dr.
there's
Peck has found it.
there you go. There's still something that exists physically about the dark ether in the world at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
I have a very good theory, right? And hear me out here. Here's what I think will happen. I think what will happen is, right, is obviously the next COD game is next Treyarch game is supposed to be set kind of in the future, right? And we already have all these. Yeah, it's not been confirmed, but it's looking like it's gonna be like Black Ops 2 era, right?
Black Ops 2
So
should be the
that
name.
wouldn't be future. That'd be like now because it's almost.
It would be now.
Please don't.
It's almost 2025.
Please don't remind me I'm not a kid anymore, okay? Please, listen.
We're a bunch of old men, Cosmic.
Let me pretend that Black Ops 2 is still in the future, okay?
Yeah.
It's not.
You get to pretend for another 3 years.
Okay, well, okay, another 3 years, okay, right? It is in the future by 3 years. Wow. So here's my guess, right? Is I think the time jump's too significant for zombies as far as the story goes, right? And I don't think we're exactly in the place for box weapons to be futuristic if they're kind of having the next game as a prequel, right? I know that's happened in older games, like Origins. Obviously, we had weapons from like the future.
Yeah,
they
I was
could
gonna say.
down onto magic and that, and they could totally thing it on magic and that as well, right? But you know how the zombie story is supposed to correlate with everything that's happening in Modern Warfare, with Cold War multiplayer, with all the other stuff, right? In campaign, like it's all supposed to tie into one one story, right? I think what will happen is during Modern Warfare's 2 life cycle, we'll get a few more zombie maps for Cold War.
Really?
I think we will. I think we will to finish off that section of the story and make it more accessible. For
That's bold. I would love to see that, but I don't know, man.
I honestly, right? I think after the failure of Vanguard, I think they might try and do a Zombies Chronicles 2 with Cold War.
Dude, that's
not
so
exactly,
crazy.
Not exactly a Zombie Chronicles 2, right? Because it wouldn't be. But picture back to Infinite Warfare Zombies, where they're thinking about completely canceling the game, and then they release a Zombies DLC for Black Ops 3, right? Right now, and my camera's done.
Bye, Cosmic. He's in the dark ether now.
They didn't want you to finish that sentence.
Dude, they're listening. They heard you.
It said my camera's overheating. I don't believe that. I don't think my camera's overheating.
Your camera's overheating.
Let me try and turn this back on. Is it gonna just thingy off again? It should be overheating.
And we'll be right back after this. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
He's already back.
Don't turn off. I don't care if you go on fire. So I genuinely think that what they will do is make some sort of continuation of the story in Cold War after Vanguard when the Modern Warfare life cycle is kind of on. Not to the extent of a full season of content, but I think they'll
For
either
sure.
update the game in some way, shape, or form. They'll give like intel in some way, and if we're lucky, a zombies map to kind of build upon that story to give us a little bit more in a place to jump to 2025 or
I hope you're
whatever
right.
the next game is based on. Or they scrap it
Oh.
completely and don't even update that.
That would be
starting story.
insane.
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not a huge Cold War fan. Like I'm
Yeah,
not.
right, yeah.
I don't dislike the game. I liked it a lot at first. Obviously because
Yeah.
it's fresh. But honestly, I think it lost me at Firebase Z. I think it lost me at Firebase
Really?
Z. Seriously, Firebase Z is probably my worst maps. Seriously, I hate
Wow.
that map with a passion. I think it's so boring. I think the Easter egg's kind of cool.
I mean, I think it's definitely
Yeah.
the worst in terms of what we have in Cold War. I think I would rank that at the bottom. But dang,
well.
really?
But it's not worse than Durham Fong. Listen, okay.
True.
Listen. So I think, and okay, what was after? I'm so stupid. Mauer Toten. I thought Mauer Toten was great. Fantastic map.
Yeah, great map.
Yeah.
Forsaken, kind of lacking. For me, at
Oh,
least.
really?
I don't know if
I thought Forsaken was a great map too.
I'm just like my opinion. Everybody just fell out. My opinion is like so different than a lot of people's because I don't know. I feel like I don't know, I'm a weird guy.
You know what? That's all right because that's what the whole point of a podcast is. We talk about our opinions.
Yeah, I think my view is like if I enjoy it, I'm gonna speak out that I enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, then I'm gonna speak out that I don't enjoy it. It's not because I want to hate on the game or anything.
For
like
sure.
That. It's just I'm being honest.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, Forsaken just didn't do it for me. I think I think the aspects of it. I thought the Easter egg was really cool. But I think like the ending cutscene was so good. The ending cutscene for Forsaken was so good. But I think as the map, actual like structure of the map, it wasn't very good in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, here's a hot take for you. I think Mauer Toten's the worst map in Cold War. I don't like it.
Really?
Wow.
I don't like it.
I
No.
remember you telling me about this before.
I just could
Oh,
not get into
no.
it. Honestly, trying to do the Easter egg and that, like, it's a fun map. I just couldn't get into it. And I think I'd rather play D Machine. I'd rather play. If I was to rank the maps, right? D Machine, first of all, D Machine is the best map in Cold War, in my personal opinion, right? Best map.
Yeah.
I absolutely love D Machine, right? Then I would actually put Forsaken / Firebase Z, obviously, because I think they can rotate quite a bit. I quite like Firebase Z for what it is, and I used to hate the map as well. I had it at the bottom. But as time's gone on and I've gone back to it and I've played it a little bit more, I can say now that I can enjoy the map, right? Forsaken's next, and I like Forsaken. I just feel like the map was, for a DLC 4 map, just a little bit underwhelming. Obviously, that's not their fault, right? I think the boss fight, really cool, really good boss fight. One of the best boss fights we had in Zombies, right? Because it just the atmosphere and the aesthetics and the teamwork you have to do to get to go.
Yeah, the
so
Valentina
cool, right?
fight is great. Or
Yeah,
Valentina.
no, Valentina.
I'm already thinking about I'm already thinking about Mauer Toten, the
his
freaking.
mind's on Mauer. It really fucked him up.
Listen, my comment. You're gonna have to go to therapy after that one. I'm sorry.
I gotta go
It's just the way I feel. It's just the way I feel, right? And then Mauer Toten, it's like it's not that it's bad, right? I just think I personally didn't click with the map at all. I just didn't, and I don't know what it is because I think the Wonder Weapon's cool.
I
right?
remember you not clicking with the map.
I think a bunch of things the map does is cool, right? I just think like I don't know. You know how some people don't like Buried? Like some people just like don't like it.
Yeah.
I think that's like it for me. There's nothing wrong with the map, but it's just I
don't
can't
really like
get into it.
Yeah.
If I went into it, I'd be asleep after like 5 minutes of playing it because
Wow.
Dude,
I don't care.
I know a hot take. I'm gonna rebuttal your hot take. I said I'd rather play. In a video of mine. I said I'd rather play in the train station of Mauer Toten than play Forsaken once. Not Forsaken. Firebase Z once.
Oh wow.
I'd rather play in the train station of Mauer Toten
That
than play Firebase Z at all.
You know what's
Listen,
funny
man.
too? Speaking of Mauer Toten's train station, Cosmic, I remember you telling me back when Mauer Toten came out, you're like, dude, you want to play Shaolin Shuffle 2? And I was like, I'm like, I don't get it because I didn't play Shaolin Shuffle. Now that I've played Shaolin Shuffle, I get it.
You understand
like
it's trains.
Well, there's a train station. The cities are kind of it's like a city. You go underground, like you go in the like kind of reminds me of Mauer Toten, and then vice versa. I kind of get what
can't-
you're saying now.
I can't believe Mauer Toten copied Infinite Warfare Zombies.
Not
That makes me
particularly,
angry.
but I mean,
Listen, I can't believe.
hey, I can't do dragon
War.
style in Mauer Toten.
Well, that's fair enough.
I can't do kung fu in Mauer Toten. I mean, I would like to. The closest thing we got are the fists. That's the spawn.
That's
Just,
it.
That's all we got.
Punish.
But I don't get to summon a frickin' dragon or anything like that.
Oh, that's rough.
But dude, I just think it was the funniest thing. Remember Zombies for Charity?
Yeah.
And so the first challenge was build percent speedrun for the Cerberus wonder weapon in Mauer Toten, right? So Cosmic's doing that, and so we're all getting ready. I'll never forget this. We're all getting ready in the lobby to start the stream. Like 5 minutes before the stream's gonna start for Zombies for Charity, he goes, "Yeah, so how do I turn the power on?"
Oh
Or
my
like
God.
I just didn't
he's
care.
like, "Yeah, so how do I get the wonder weapon?"
So
Kind of respectable, honestly.
I
was
know
like, "Oh no."
this might be last minute, but how do I turn on the power?
Yeah.
Where's Jug? Where's all the perks?
Do you know now?
No.
You really?
No, I mean, I can figure it out, but like it's one of the maps I didn't click with. Like I probably know all the exos on my maps better than I know. Mauer Toten.
Wow.
And that's
Really?
like, and that's the thing for like
Exo
I know
zombies?
I know exo zombies pretty much. So like I
Wow.
don't really play it, but I know where Jug is on all the maps, right? I know where like all them sort of things are.
Beats me, dude. I don't even
But
know where all the fucking 3D printer locations are. I'm just like,
But Mauer is just like, nah, I just can't.
Dude,
hey, fair enough.
can I say one thing that I wish Cold War would have improved on, and which
was
they
that?
failed to improve on every single map?
Their
color palettes for the maps are just so trash. It's not
all
visual-
grays and browns.
Yeah, it's also visually unappealing, and it really makes me upset. I think Firebase C, they were kind of heading in the right direction with color palettes, but the map is so like orange and purple. It's kind of ugly, like it's almost too
I
much.
can understand the orange thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like seriously, you look at Shadows, and it's like, dude, everything's so bright, and it's a city, right? Everything's so bright and colorful. You got neon signs, and then you look at what's another one? Zetsubo, green and vibrant. Shangri-La on Black Ops 3. Oh my god, that map is fucking beautiful. But you look at Forsaken, it's like, oh my god. Nice, you got some more gray walls.
There's bits of color here and there, right? But
Mhm.
the map just doesn't jump out. Like it's
Right.
that's one thing about like I think Mauer Toten, that's probably like my biggest like not my biggest gripe with the map, but it's like when I go into it, I feel like it has no personality. There's nothing drawing me to like go around the map because it just is all the same color. And I know there's a
I
few
can
signs
understand.
that are neon here and there, right? But when you compare it to something from Black Ops 3, right? It's just night and day difference where when you put in that little extra bit of work when you're making a map, it really makes the city or whatever map you're playing feel a lot more immersed. Like even looking back at Buried, right? Like Buried, it was a very like sandy sort of map, right? And it had a lot of grays and browns, but the colors for some reason popped a lot more. There's a lot more of like a glow to it, if you guys get what I mean. Like even though it wasn't
saturation.
even though it wasn't the most colorful map, I felt like it drew me closer to certain areas because of a bit of light here, a bit of light there, sort of thing. Whilst most of Cold War, except D Machine, because I think D Machine did a quite good job of colors in that.
Mhm.
Just meh.
Yeah, it did a pretty good job because you had the particle accelerator. I think a lot of it was like dating back to what you just said earlier. Is like they had to kind of keep in line with the multiplayer and stuff in Cold War. You know what I'm saying? They had to kind of keep around the same date.
Yeah.
Whereas Black Ops 3 kind of had like its own arcadey like vibe, saturation to it.
Yeah.
So it could really just be its own thing and not have to be around the same dates, right? Because
True.
It's Dark Aether. So I don't know.
I mean, the thing is with with zombies going forward, I think with sticking with the same times, I think that's where who did I talk to you about this like the other day, Cosmic, where it was you when we were playing Mob of the Dead and you were like, wow, the AK-47 is on Mob of the Dead and that gives it some personality because there's weapon specific maps or map specific weapons.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the future of Call of Duty, with the next Treyarch game, if they want to stay around the same time period, they can. So let's say it is going to be a future game and you have the M5 instead of the M4, and it's like kind of future, kind of modern, right? But then you also have map-specific weapons like, the AK-47, the Remington New Model Army. You have things like that you can also do for the next game that I think people would appreciate. And, similar to Black Ops 3, where you have the base weapons that you can put weapon kits on, and then the map-specific weapons, you can't really do that. Although, it would be kind of cool in Black Ops 3 if you could put attachments on the Marshals and the Razorback, and he's back in the Dark Ether. But
it's because my camera keeps overheating, but I want to keep turning it on because I don't care.
I don't know what's going on with that. I mean,
we're leaking too much of Treyarch's knowledge.
We're leaking too much of Black Ops Cold War 2.
Yo, turn his camera off if there's a standalone zombies coming out.
Oh, oh, it's happening. No, it's happening.
Oh my god, you guys.
It's happening. Oh my god, confirmed.
It's crazy. I can't believe it. It's happening.
Oh
my god.
Standalone zombies in 2022 because we're impatient.
That would be so sick. I literally wouldn't be able to wrap my mind around that. Seriously.
Oh, and I know it would be amazing. Cool. The community would be back, I think. I mean, not to say that it isn't like here because it is here.
It's more like it's just resting.
Like
it's more asleep.
I kind of feel like
right now.
Detached is the word I think I would use. Is detached.
Like in hibernation.
Yeah.
It's kind of not really like it's still there, but it's like not really focused on it right now. I think. I don't know, I'm just thinking how sick it would actually be. I think. How were they teasing it? Because like it was like a rumor for a little bit. How were they teasing that originally? Like there was like rumors going around, right? About
teasing what?
Zombies.
Oh, standalone zombies. I mean, there were rumors about that a long time ago, but I don't know if I don't know what kind of teasing they would do at this point.
It was originally through a few things, and I think more now than ever, there's definitely talk about it kind of happening, like how they want to do a standalone zombies game. I think it just makes sense. Like, I think separate your audience, have it so like COD tells its own thing, and then zombies is its own thing, because I think both games would improve. Because I think zombies, you can't limit it to what the main theme of one game is going to be. I think that just kind of kills it. Like with Cold War, don't get me wrong, game's not bad, but I feel like they could do a lot more if it was on a separately, where they could play around with it a lot more. And then, because I think that's one of the strongest points about like a game like Black Ops 3, where each game mode felt so unique. Like multiplayer, you're in the future, you're flying about, you're doing all this crazy stuff. And the zombies, you're back in like, like the time periods varied, obviously, and locations varied so much, and it just worked. It felt like two different games completely in a way, even though they were the same game.
I feel like a lot of times they forget that, like, zombies doesn't have to be like realistic like the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It is zombies. Like, they're not real. It's like, go ahead and take that as far as you want it. Like, you can have the Dark Aether do some crazy ass shit. I don't mind. Like, it's not real anyways. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Not realistic. So, like, just take it and just use that. I feel like a lot of the times they just kind of forget, we got to make sure this looks real realistic. It's like, no, just make it look fun. Make it.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is make sure the game's fun, first of all. And, like, it's exciting and it's drawing you to do stuff. And then worry about, like, all the other stuff later. Make sure the product's fun, first of all. Because that's, like, I think each Cold War map, again, is okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with the maps in Cold War. It's the most solid lineup of maps we've had. But there's no, like, there's nothing in particular from each map that makes me go like, wow, this is crazy.
Interesting.
I think Dark Ether and the Machine was the most, like, ambitious thing.
Yeah, that was so cool. I thought.
Yeah.
I think it was nice that they only did that for that map. Because that kind of gave it to, it gave its own like reason. Yeah. Like, oh shit, I can go in the Dark Aether. This is pretty cool. Whereas Firebase C, you got to fight off an Orda. I did not enjoy that.
I mean, I think it's a cool concept, but I feel like Orda gets really tiresome after a while. I think Orda maybe should have showed up maybe every other assault wave, not every single assault wave after 30.
Right, because it's like, oh shit, another Orda. I can't wait to kill him.
Yeah,
because it's not. I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's not hard.
I mean, the other thing you can do too. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, the other thing in Die Machine they had was like you get around like 50, and you can see the Orda walking outside the trees, whatever tree line. I think that's so like interesting. Like it's those little secrets like that make a zombie map good. Like those little tiny like details that make it so good. Whereas like Firebase really didn't have any of that kind of stuff at all, right?
No, it
I
was
can
just
understand that.
very. There wasn't super
I mean, you
secret,
have the
like atmosphere.
you have the mimic step of the Easter egg. I mean, that's great,
Yeah.
right, guys?
Right, that's so good. Honestly, I think if they make a Zombie Chronicles 2, they just make it that.
Dude,
I
that's one of my
love
least
that
favorite
Easter
Easter egg steps ever.
Just bad. Honestly, it's not good. Like it's not good at all. I think kind of going back to like the Order and the Machine, right? I think an atmosphere for a map is so important as well. And I think them little secrets where we can like make our own lore in that. I think the intel system is good, but at the same time, making it so that we know less is a good thing as well, because then we can make our own stories, sort of thing. Like
Right, because
you gotta think about like. Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna cut. You're not gonna cut. You go.
Okay. So like even like Mob, right? Is like when Mob of the Dead came out, and anywhere kind of like before like Black Ops 3, kind of like post like maybe Zet, right? We had no idea what was really going on in Mob of the Dead. We had no blood vials. What were they for? Why were they important? Sort of thing. Like them little things where we can. Like obviously it was progressing the story, right? But there's even other things like who was controlling the zombies, what was happening here and there, where we can make our own stories and like, wow, that's the potential that could be huge, right? And for them to kind of like not close off the stories, right? But close every kind of like plot they had, sort of thing. I think the mystery of the maps, it kind of kills it a little. Again, you can go into these maps and think, wow, this was good for the time, and there's a lot of mystery around this, but now we know what it is, which is satisfying. It's good to know what something is finally. But at the same time, I think some mysteries are good just kept as mysteries, so us as the players can make our own stories. If you guys know what I mean.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think it all comes down to as well, like the different direction that they'd wanted to go in with how they wanted to tell the story, right? Because I remember a lot of people were also complaining about the old Jason Blundell style of storytelling.
Oh my god.
It's all good.
Jason
you know what?
Blundell's coming back.
He's coming back to his own. I mean, Deviation Games. I mean, hey, it's so it's one of those things where a lot of people were like, "Oh my god!" Like I don't. This is quoting other people. I didn't mind it too much because I like Jason Blundell. A lot of other people are like, "Oh my gosh, this is just too cryptic," and like, what does he mean? Like, shut up and give us the real thing. Like, I remember a lot of people complaining about that. So I think this is kind of their response to be like, okay, let's make Zombies the storyline more of a campaign kind of a thing where
transparent.
Exactly. It's where you're going, what's happening, this, there's some mystery and intrigue as to certain characters' motives and certain things that are happening, but for the most part, they kind of turned it into a like a daytime television show kind of a thing where it's like every map is its own episodic, right? This is the problem in this map, and this is how it's going to affect the overarching storyline. And then you have characters with different motives, and you have this guy's evil because this, and then you got this person, and so I think
this guy over here.
I think it's a response to what people were kind of thinking about, where it's kind of a response to what people were kind of criticizing in the Jason Blundell era, is what I'm saying.
I mean, that's very true as well, because that definitely did happen. I don't know. I think there's a balance, but I think a little bit of mystery is good, but
for sure.
Again, I think Jason had a way of doing it that was good, but then you can understand like more like the Easter egg side of things. And there was even a clip of him, a recent clip of him, saying that gameplay is more important than story.
True.
I think that probably shows like him thinking like, wow, like not so much maybe reflecting on Black Ops 4, but maybe he's thinking like, okay, I think gameplay is the most important thing of a game now, and it's not so much the story. Even though story is important, the game should be fun first, and then the story can be like its own thing. So
I think a lot of it is like I think people complaining about the fact that just go ahead and break the secrets to us, like don't be so cryptic, blah blah blah. I feel like that just kind of keeps them drawn in, right? Because they're gonna keep watching until the time they're gonna keep watching or playing until the time that until that's been revealed, really. I think that I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's the good thing to do, which is keep it
for sure,
keep it secret. The longer you're gonna keep it secret, the longer you're gonna have people paying attention, right, and trying to figure out those answers. So
I would agree. I like it too.
With Cold War, like you said, I think they were just being a little too transparent. I think you opened the map knowing exactly why you're there and what happened, and like You know what I'm saying? Like it's not as cryptic as it was before. Like you know why the zombies are there, basically, right?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
I don't know. Yeah.
And I think there's a huge distinction to be made too between Jason Blundell's cryptic nature and also Pawn Takes Pawn. I think with Pawn Takes Pawn and the crypticness of that, and you had to solve ciphers and you had to like solve, you literally had to be a part of the CIA to figure out certain ciphers and like you had to recover things like that. I think there's a huge difference between Jason Blundell's crypticness and let's get on with it, and Pawn Takes Pawn's let's get on with it, because Pawn Takes Pawn was way too dragged out. I thought, like, I think it's cool, like, solve a cipher to get your next clue to the reveal of the game. Like, that's cool. I like that.
It was cool first,
but it was drawn out for too long. Like they made you come back every week. It should have been like a day-to-day thing, like day 1, this cipher, day 2, this cipher. Not like, all right, guys, come back in a week and then another week. And then it's like months to like fill in time. And it's like people are going, come on, man.
You can tell the YouTubers are getting annoying too. They're like, shit, thank God I'm getting paid for this.
Dude.
That's the thing, though. It's like, I was so bored of it after like 3 weeks of them doing it. I was like, man, can you do something else? Can you do something that's actually interesting? Because like, it's either are you buying time or something? Is that what you're doing?
Absolutely, they were. Absolutely.
Like, because it's just like, come on, like, here's our website.
Because it's
you
cool.
Can't do anything on it. Yeah, but at the same time,
at the same time, it's dragged out. Like I said, it should have been a day-to-day thing, not a week-to-week thing, where it's like, this and that, and it's the fish or whatever.
I don't think they'll ever do anything like that again.
No, they definitely won't. They definitely won't.
They did Pawn Takes Pawn that was the reveal of what? Cold War, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't they do it something like that again? Didn't they end up doing something like that twice?
They
right?
I don't know if they did it for Vanguard.
Are you thinking about the thing where you jump into Warzone event? Yeah, and you.
It was something like a Warzone. I don't know what it was, man.
Yeah.
There was that, but there was a Warzone event for Vanguard, but it wasn't like such a giant build up. Or was there actually?
Not really. I mean, it was just.
Was that the nuke event?
Well,
Warzone as well. I don't really play Warzone.
The nuke wasn't for Vanguard. The nuke was for Verdansk 84.
Right.
So Vanguard was the Battle of Verdansk, which that was kind of weird. I mean, it was kind of cool, but like it was kind of weird at the same time. Yeah, you just blow up a train and it's like, yeah, you did it.
Did y'all ever like
No, go ahead.
Okay, did y'all ever like this is a completely different topic. I'm so sorry. My mind just wanders. Y'all ever like run around Warzone whenever like the numbers season was there? And you just randomly start hearing numbers in your fucking ears, and like you can't hear anything that's happening in the game. Did y'all ever like experience that?
Yeah.
That was the most annoying thing ever. I don't know why it just came to my mind. I don't know. Okay.
Well,
continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's one of those things where I think that happened when you like opened a crate too. Like particular crates you opened, it was like, you're getting MK Ultra'd. And then you had those like crates, those red crates that made a shitload of noise too.
Yeah.
That was for the that was for also Vanguard because of something. Oh yeah, Verdansk was blowing up, and again for like the 50th time. And you went into those red crates to go underground to the secret Nazi bunkers that were there to like for the Vanguard reveal, and yeah, it was interesting.
It's all over the place for me, dude. It's all over the place.
Because it is kind of all over the place in a way. So
it's so much to remember. It's like I do not have time. I don't have time.
No, I don't have time to remember every little bit of information Warzone gives out.
Do you guys hope that I saw something that I can't remember who I heard say this. There was a couple people I heard say this, that they don't think that Call of Duty is going to stay on Blizzard, on the Blizzard.
I think it'll go back to Steam.
You think it'll go back to Steam?
Maybe.
I think it'll go to Steam. I think what
I
they'll do
heard
is
you say that. I was watching your stream.
Maybe you did. Maybe I did. I think it'll go to Steam personally. I think it'll go to all like platforms. Like my camera's turned off again. It's gonna keep doing that.
No, you're good.
I'm still here. Here it goes. I don't know what it is. This is a new issue of overheating, I guess. That's great. But I'll finish off my point as you stare into the dark void. I think what they'll do is they'll do what they do for like the like Battlefield and that. And I know obviously Microsoft don't own Battlefield. I know EA is like their own thing, right? I think they have like a partnership or something with Xbox in some cases, but I think what they'll do is they'll want as many people to play it as possible, so they'll put it to like Steam and all that, and other like all the things they can do on the Microsoft Store, obviously, because that's what they want. I'm pretty sure isn't Halo on Steam now? Can you get Halo on Steam?
Yes.
Yeah,
Master Chief
so
Collection is on Steam.
yeah. So
Seriously?
I think that's
Oh.
I think they'll do that. So I think they'll I think their game plan is right. Let's get this everywhere. Let's get back on Steam so people actually play it. 'Cause here's the thing,
mind-blowing.
you know the Blizzard client, it's fucking awful. I hate it.
Yeah, it is terrible.
Steam's the best place. Get rid of all the other ones, right, and just have it to Steam because Steam is the most superior compared to all of them, right?
Right. It's just been around longer. It's just been around. You can't beat it. You really can't.
Yeah, it has the biggest like audience that are there. When I'm looking for new games, I don't go in the Blizzard launch engine. I don't go on like the EA like whatever that alternative is or the Rockstar one. I go to Steam.
For sure.
I go to Steam because I know I can get games there for cheap and they're good and there's always like a deal going on. So
For sure.
Dude, I didn't know Halo was on Steam. That's
I have Halo Infinite on Steam. I download the multiplayer because the multiplayer is free.
Yeah, that's so, dude. Oh my god, you just made me so happy. If they have Call of Duty on Steam, can you imagine?
The future Call of Duty for sure.
I think it'd be great. The thing is, right, is there no reason not to. They're going to put their main game on Steam. What is stopping them? Because Halo is their main game, obviously, right? So unless they do something with Game Pass, which I don't know, because that's a big thing as well, is if they do something with Game Pass and
they will.
They're making it. Yeah, they will. Obviously, they will, right?
Will.
But like, will they make it so you can buy the game separately on PC, like you would with like with PlayStation? Or
I think so.
Since it's Microsoft, right, who are kind of like the software PCs, since it's them that own it, right? Do you think if someone has Game Pass on thingy, then
I mean, it could also be like PC Game Pass in a way.
Yeah.
Which I think that is a thing, right?
Yeah, you got your Game Pass for Xbox and PC, and if you pay a little bit more.
Well, there you go then. So then that would answer the question. I think that's what they would do. They would have a double Game Pass for something like that. And then because it's already there, right? You already have the Call of Duty games there available to buy. You just have them both, I guess. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is what that would be, but I mean, I don't know.
Like, I mean, like, would you get it on Steam or the Game Pass? That you're trying to say?
Like, you could get it on Steam or the Game Pass, particularly whichever one that you want.
You can get like Minecraft Java. You can get like Minecraft Bedrock. Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it'd be like that, I guess,
So,
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just like back in the day, I mean, you didn't have to get Call of Duty off of Steam. You could get it off of the actual like website. You could download it through like the Call of Duty website. You didn't have to get it off Steam.
Right.
But that was just the most convenient place to get it. I think, dude, I would love to see like modded zombies make a return.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
I think everybody I think nobody disagrees with that. Nobody can disagree with that.
For sure, nobody disagrees with that. Custom zombies is always going to be something people come back to. And, just the opportunity here for them to also bring custom zombies to console now, if you think about it, with what's happening.
How would that work? I've seen a lot of people
I can tell you how that's going to work. I had an idea for this a long time ago where, so you guys play Skyrim?
Not particularly. I've seen gameplay of it.
My brother plays it.
Well, Skyrim's one of my favorite games of all time. And it's, it took them a while, but they finally added mods to Skyrim on console. And so what you can do is you can go into the mod menu of Skyrim on console and you can select whatever mod you want to download and you download just directly to your PlayStation or whatever, right? Just do the same kind of system for zombies. You just, you have a separate window that's like customs, add-ons, whatever, right? And you just scroll down to that and you go, oh, wow, look, there's that map I want to play. There's that map. Of course, you can't edit and create maps on console, and you can't make mods on console, but you can still access them. You can still play them.
Okay, so that makes sense because like they did that. I know I keep relating this to Minecraft, but it is Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? They had that kind of thing like that. You couldn't do anything like that in on console in Minecraft, and now I believe you can. Like you can kind of go through and pick like the favorite community's favorite stuff, right? On
It's
console?
kind of different. Where console Minecraft, I know they have like a few featured servers that you can go on,
Yeah.
and like that's kind of interesting. But it's definitely not as in depth and expansive as
Right.
it is on
Yeah,
PC.
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
feel like with console Black Ops 3, it would just be something along those lines where you go, yeah, you select the mod menu or you select the custom menu and you go, wow,
Right.
cool, I can play Evil Christmas. I can play things like that on console.
Now-
I don't know. I don't know how
Vibe
hard
and
that would
things
be
like
for
that,
them to do.
Yeah, it's like,
but,
oh shit.
yeah.
Like the Leviathan got added to the console version. Sweet,
Right.
let's fucking play that. But
Yeah,
although,
exactly.
Then you have the problem of shit. My console isn't good enough to run these maps.
That'd be the thing. I think
I
would
guess
be big,
that's a
big
good point.
I guess it all comes down to like
Next gen hardware maybe
next
would be able
gen
to run
hardware,
it.
yeah. And I think maybe there'd be limits on how much like a map could have like
Right, like
in
assets
terms
and
of like
stuff.
storage. Yeah, I think like okay, you've reached the limit
To
because
make
they
it
want to
eligible
make it
for
so it's
console or
up-
something.
Yeah, for the lowest level console beyond. I don't think with the next main card game, next Treyarch's main game, I think what will happen is I don't think it'll be cross gen. I think it'll be like kind of cross progression in a way, but I don't think it'll be cross gen. I think
can
it'll
see
be
that.
limited to last gen and then next gen and PC.
I get what you're saying.
If they want to actually progress, I feel like that's something they need to do because I think with the shortage of consoles, it's definitely held back like progression in terms of like graphics and like games and that. So I think coming to Treyarch's next game, I think it'll be very much so the case that next gen together PC and then old gen on their own little bit, but crossplay with old gen obviously. So
there's not a talking point I wish that I wish everybody would talk about the fact that I wish that custom zombies and mod tools would come back, make a return. Like I
Yeah.
wish that was a thing. I don't know. I think that'd be so cool.
Return for
And,
like
the community kinda
different
needs it. Like,
games too. I think
Yeah.
that's the key.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people are
wish it
still
would-
going strong with BO3 mod tools.
Dude, I am like I literally make like no okay I don't make mod tools, but I make like videos on like mods and showcase these things. It's like it's fun. I have still people that watch them consistently, so it's like I mean not
You're
granted,
gonna
not a
do
whole
it.
lot of people, but it's like
It's still something to come back to and make a video about, and still something that the community can enjoy.
right. It makes me wonder like has it even crossed their minds? Like seriously have they even like I wonder if they even considered bringing it back, right? Because now like mods are kind of like such a risky
Maybe.
thing, especially for Call of Duty. I feel like people might find a lot of exploits with that. I mean,
Yeah, it's more the case that I completely understand that, and I know of their new anti-cheat. I'm pretty sure it makes things a little bit more confusing because wasn't there like a story a while back where getting thumbnails and going into the game was a little bit more difficult?
So the
because
whole
the game
thing with
thinks you're
that
cheating.
is it's render artists. So
Yeah.
render artists would go into the game files and pull assets to make cool renders of characters or of a zombie or something like that, right? But because Ricochet detects when there's foul play involved or whatever, right? I don't really know exactly how it works, but there's something in it that detects like, oh, you're trying to do something in the game's files. Let's ban you, basically.
Yeah.
So
Which isn't great.
So a lot of render artists are really upset that they're like what they do basically is at risk because of the anti-cheat.
yeah.
So
Now, I
that's
wonder if there's
basically
people
what it is.
selling these like models to people, like the new models.
I don't know. It's a
There's
good
gotta
question. I
be,
would assume so.
Because like there's a risk to it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
guarantee
I don't know if that would be
regulation.
legal or not though, because because I think you would have to acknowledge that it's like you're taking an
Yeah.
asset from a company that owns
Right.
that asset.
It's like, well, it
Yeah.
might not be legal, but
So
what does that really ever stop someone? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No, they're not doing that, but come on.
I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying. I'm pretty sure people are probably doing that somewhere, but
for sure.
well, crazy stuff today on this episode of the podcast, guys. We talked about a bunch of things: Black Ops 2, a standalone zombies game, mod tools, a bunch of zombies-related topics today. But before we end off episode 79 of the podcast, do you guys have any other closing thoughts?
I got nothing. I
got nothing.
I got nothing.
Got nothing.
How about you, Cosmic?
I mean, for me, just thank you for coming on WhipLash. It was great having you on.
Yeah.
Definitely, it was good talking about like
My
Black
pleasure.
Ops, Black Ops 2, and definitely like the like custom side of things as well, and how like
Yeah.
they should bring it back, sort of thing, you know.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And kind of getting your opinion on Cold War as a whole, and it's like
Yeah.
I found that quite interesting as well because you know with the kind of like a few of the same points where as far as aesthetics go and color palettes, it was all just kind of gray. So I know that's like not a lot of people's biggest like gripe with Cold War, but it's something I definitely like. I can definitely feel in terms of like atmosphere and that. So it was good talking to you about that. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
I
guys.
appreciate you guys for having me. I had a lot of fun. Like I said, like I told you guys before, I've never done one of these. So.
Hey, and we
this is
couldn't
definitely
tell.
Interesting.
We couldn't tell. We kept the conversation flowing. It was all good.
I do appreciate you guys for having me on. Everybody that watched this far, thank you. You guys are the OGs, right?
100%.
Am I saying that right? You guys are the fucking OG guys.
Yeah,
Hell Hell yeah, bunch of OGs, got a bunch of dedicated fans out there.
Hell
you know?
yeah! So if you watched all the way through, you're the best.
Absolutely, you
You're the
guys are
best.
awesome. You guys are awesome out there. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Division Z podcast. What was your favorite part? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And with that said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. And we'll see you guys in the dark ether because Cosmic's camera keeps dying. Peace out.
It died again.
What a way to end it. What a way to end it. All right, peace out, guys.
God.